How's it going? We are back with another episode of the Alt Show podcast with me, Chris. If you have been liking what you've heard so far, please hit that follow or subscribe button, all that business. And if you're on Spotify, hit that rate button as well. Well, another busy old week has just passed us, and the biggest news has got to be the Heavy Music Award nominations. So many great bands on that list. It's always lush to see loads of bands that I've been following and supporting for years. The one I am keeping my eye on, though, Best UK Breakthrough Artist. Absolutely silly list. You've got Dead Pony, Lambrini Girls, Snakes, South Arcade, Unpeople Vour, and today's guests, Split Chain. Honestly, every one of those deserves it. That is going to be such a hard vote. Let me know on the socials who you are voting for at Alt Show Pod everywhere. Well, as I said, this week's guests have just absolutely blown up in the past 2 years. I remember playing their first ever single on the radio and just how appreciative they were. And since then, I mean, what can you even say? It's just absolutely unheard of. Download, 2000 Trees, tour in the UK with Boston Manor, tour in the US with Silverstein, selling out a headline show in New York. I cannot think of another band who have blown up so quickly in such a short amount of time, but those guys have worked their butts off and don't take a second for granted. We did this interview before the HMA nomination and before their album announcement, so it just keeps getting better and better. So let's get into it. Here it is, episode 3 of the Alt Show podcast. I'm joined by probably the fastest rising band around. It's the boys from Split Chain.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, guys. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, chilling, man. Chilling, not too bad.
Trying to relax. I can't believe it's taken so long to get an interview, get you guys on for an interview. But let's start off with the introductions. Do you want to go around the room and introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so my name's Tom and I play bass in Split Chain.
And I'm Ollie. I play guitar in Split Chain.
Nice. So let's start off. Tell us a little bit about Split Chain.
Ooh, we're a rock and roll band that is blown up for, I have no idea reason why, or is blowing up. And yeah, I don't know. Where do you want us to begin?
Well, you guys have. How did you sort of all start together? I think a few of you have known each other for a few years, haven't you?
Yeah.
Go on, Ol.
We know each other for a little way back. I mean, Tom, you've known Jake for years.
Yeah, I've known Jake for like 19 years or something silly like that. The other guitarist, but the front man I met at uni in 2016, so like 8 years ago now.
Yeah, pretty much the rest of us all met at uni, didn't we?
Yeah, and then the rest of you guys met at uni, and yeah, we kind of all got together through friends of friends, and that was it, really.
Did you all been in bands together before, like at uni or anything, or?
I don't think any of us were in bands together, but they were kind of in different scenes where like Jake and Aaron were in separate bands, but they were part of the same sort of like deathcore, metalcore kind of scene.
Yeah.
And then Bert was more sort of towards the emo side of it, and as far as where Ollie was like more in post-hardcore kind of vibe. So it was never like no one had ever officially been in a band together prior to Split Chain. You guys were writing prior to COVID, if I'm not wrong. It was you, Bert, and Jake, right?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we had like one rehearsal session. I remember I had like a job interview, and I came after, and I was wearing like a shirt and tie, like jamming these songs, and they were pretty good. But yeah, COVID quickly shut that up, and then well, Tom, you and Bert got together to start writing during COVID, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it was like me and Bert had always played around with stuff, but it was never anything serious. And then back in 2022, I made the decision to go sober. And at that point, because I'd had loads of sort of free time now after quitting drinking, Bert was sort of supporting me through it. And he was over. It was completely by mistake. He was over one day, and we were looking for something to do. So we kind of picked up a guitar and decided to write a song. We were listening to like loads of Soup Heaven and stuff. So we were like, let's just see what happens if we try and write a Soup Heaven song. And from there, the first sort of demos, I guess, for Split Chain were born. And it wasn't until the first two singles, Get Inside in future were written, where we were like, okay, we've actually kind of got something here. And at that point, we recruited Jake, Ollie, and Aaron, and decided to basically go down to the studio, get them tracked, and then sort of, I guess that at that point, that was the birth of Split Chain. And as soon as we got the masters back, it was like, okay, let's make this real, sort of vibe.
It was kind of it's like a point in our lives where we were like most of us have been in bands before. Tom's the only one that's not actually been in a band before, so this is his first.
Yeah,
like we're getting on a little bit, and we're like, I kind of want to give it one last shot after COVID kind of ruined a few years of our lives, you know. So we just put all our effort into this project, and it's kind of paying off, I guess.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. Well, you're coming up. It's coming up to about 2 years since the first single, isn't it? Pretty wild 2 years as well. Like, where do you even start with it? You've like toured with Boston Manor, you toured the US with Silverstein, playing loads of festivals. Did you ever expect it would pick up so quickly?
No, not at all. I don't think any of us did. I mean, who was it? I think it was Tess on the Silverstein tour. She's the tour manager for Arm's Length.
Yeah.
Because she was kind of talking about it, and she mentioned that our first ever tour was the Superheaven tour, and I think, like, in hindsight, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, to hit the milestones we've hit in the length of time, to hit those milestones anyway is pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can swear, sorry.
That's fine, yeah, Karen.
Okay, cool. Yeah, to hit those milestones anyways, like, incredible, but to do that within 2 years of our first single coming out is like, me and Bert talk about it all the time. It's like, we really struggle with the imposter syndrome that kind of comes with it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, this is all well and good, this is really sick, but why us? You know?
Yeah.
Like, what have we done differently or done so well that we are in this position now? And it's like, sometimes it can bum you out, but at the same time, I think it's like a bit of a blessing in disguise, because it's like, it kind of keeps you in place, you know? It keeps you grounded a little bit, because it's like, I don't know, anyone could probably do that. It could go one or two ways, right? Where it's like, you do what we've done in 2 years, you could either think you're the fucking shit all of a sudden, you know, let it go to your head, or maybe let the imposter syndrome seep in and keep yourself grounded, and remember to not shoot too high, you know?
The goalposts always move. I don't know if that's the right expression, but like, when we out, I remember being like, oh, I'd love to one day play 2000 Trees. That would, and then like we were pretty much on it within, I think it was like within 4 months of us, and we got the offer through. It was like, oh, okay. And then, you know, back from a US tour with Silverstein Thursday and Arm's Length, and it's like, did not see that coming at all. And and the stuff we've got coming up, it's like,
just mad. I guess you sort of tapped into that like nostalgic early 2000s sound that people like my age are sort of desperate to get back. So it's sort of like it's just clicks with so many people. I think that's what's like helped you guys.
I mean, we just write what we want to listen to. Like we're fans of our own band at the end of the day, and like, I think people kind of relate to that. Like, if we write music that we like, then it's going to resonate, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people that also like the same music and grew up with the same influences and things like that. I think I saw a Reddit a little while back as well, as someone asking the question of like, how have you guys blown up so quickly? I think Ollie, I think you were replying to all the comments, weren't you? It was so nice to read, because you just seem so like, I don't know how it's happened. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's funny. So, some of the comments we have to laugh at them because there's just silly, but most people on there are actually really nice and curious, and I like to give a bit of insight where we can. Obviously, can't tell. I mean, it'll take so long to mention everything, but give a bit back, you know.
So it must have been a huge shift to your like day-to-day lives, just basically overnight, sort of blowing up.
It's hectic. I mean, in our position now, going from a year ago, we were all in full-time work, and now none of us are in full-time work, which is pretty cool.
Not something you would have expected
No.
like 2 years
Hell
ago.
no.
No,
Especially, yeah. No, carry on.
no, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I don't think any of us. I think that's one of the key things is like, none of us expected it, or none of us did this expecting it. Like, yeah, we were gonna go in like full punt, try our hardest, but we didn't go in with these crazy expectations. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna hit all of these milestones within this certain amount of time. Like, there was ambition, but it was never. What I'm trying to say is basically like, yeah, it's absolutely like we just don't take it for granted, and it's not something we've ever taken for granted. It's not like we feel entitled to it. We're just very, I think we're all very aware how lucky we are and how like mind blowing it is. I can't let myself think about it too much because I have to start pinching myself. It still feels like a dream. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Coming off the back of like shit like COVID, it's so easy to disappear as well. So
Yeah.
we live every day like it's the last, I guess. One way.
Yeah, well, it has been really nice to see as well because I think I think I played your first single on the radio, and like I remember you guys inviting me along to your first show, which I'm still kicking myself I couldn't make it to.
Oh,
but I'm so annoyed. I regret that every day. Well, I don't know. It was I had a date with my now girlfriend of 2 years, so like. Yeah, she'll always know that I miss Split Chain for you. So.
Oh, we can play your wedding if you want.
There we go, sorted. I think like by the time you guys played like Misery Loves Company Fest, you could sort of see the wheels were all turning, sort of thing. I remember that night. I think Bert was sad that you hadn't been played on Radio 1 yet. Like, because obviously Alex was playing lots of people. And I remember just being like, oh, do you want to just come meet her? And he's just like so nervous to sort of meet her. And it's just like, now she's such a huge fan of you guys. Like,
yeah.
It's just seeing the whole thing like go along. It's just been amazing. Was there a point that you sort of started to see the shift? I know you were sort of like a last minute addition to Download, weren't you, a couple of years ago? And now you're like one of the first bands in mind for most of these festivals.
Yeah, I think the point for me is when I first kind of got an idea, but I still wasn't too sure, is when we got our booking agent Eddie at Upsurge. Yeah, I guess it was like because we were that was the first time that it felt like we were being, or I guess we were being recognized and we were being talked about in the industry. And to have people from the industry actually hit us up, asking to represent us, asking to work for us, it was like. Oh, okay. We don't have to go out and email promoters ourselves. It's like you can do that for us now. So I think that was the initial one for me.
Yeah, I remember being in work, taking like 10 minutes out of work to take that call with Eddie, and like we finished the call and we were all it was just the band left on the call and we were all just looking at each other like, oh, okay, this is cool. It's a mix of that, but then also seeing like the comments rack up on the music videos on YouTube and stuff, and just seeing the amount of plays go up and people adding our songs onto their own like reels and TikToks and stuff. And we're always
amazing, like
to see like the new ones that come up, and it's like people doing like skate videos and stuff to our songs, and like there's like a shit ton of workout videos on like Future and stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
Like motorbike stuff. It was like, oh, okay, like maybe these songs are actually doing something. So
yeah.
There's someone else, me and Bert. It still happens because me and Bert were talking about this back in the US. It still happens now because it's like we still feel like, oh, this is another bit where it's getting serious because of following the Silverstein tour, we sold out our first Brooklyn headliner.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's like, it's one thing to see the numbers like on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, but then for that to actually translate into a sold out show in a country that I've never been to before, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, shit, okay, maybe we've got something here.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, stepping onto that plane at Heathrow to get to Philly for the US tour was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like, insane. And then, yeah.
I remember when it got announced, I was just like, holy shit. Like, I always think, because obviously, like, you guys are Bristol as well, and, like, it's just, I've sort of known a lot of you guys for a while, and it's sort of like, when you see you guys doing things like getting onto that tour lineup, I'm just like, holy shit, like this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was like we were sat on that for ages as well. So we
Yeah.
were. Oh, I remember,
that must have been hard.
dude. It was so hard, and it was like we wanted to announce it so desperately, but we obviously had to wait for Silverstein to give the okay.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah.
like we were waiting months, and it was like, oh, fucking, please just let us get on with it.
Yeah, we're all like
Oh,
see like people's reaction, especially like Bristol, lot like you, Chris, and
yeah.
like it's so cool to see people like really stoked for us. So yeah,
I think it's when you know people like personally, it's such a big difference, because like I've got loads of mates in bands and stuff, and you like to see them all doing well, but like when like you guys just do that so much extra well in such a short time as well, it's just mental.
yeah. Wow.
Sometimes I feel bad because it's my first band, and it's like I feel like I
Yeah,
struck
fuck
gold.
you.
You know what I mean? Where it's like people are grinding their asses off, and I'm like,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's the thing though. It's like you could just write that one song that it just breaks through to people, and sometimes that's your first band, sometimes that's 20-30 years down the line.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, I am never gonna take it for granted. I'll tell you that much.
We
Yeah, good.
don't know what the reason is. I mean, one good thing about us is that we all pull in the same direction. We're all mates, so I think like if you've got that down, then yeah.
I think also it's like an authenticity thing. Like we also talk about that a lot, where it comes from like a super authentic place where we're not trying to be someone else or a different type of band. This is genuinely what we like and what we like to listen to. I think in a world where it feels like authenticity is kind of harder to come upon now,
Yeah,
it feels like maybe it's a little bit of a fresh, or I hope it's a breath of fresh air for people, and that's why they connect with it a little bit more.
definitely. Well, one of my next questions was going to be about the New York headliner. That just looked absolutely mental.
Yeah, it was eye-opening for all the right reasons.
Yeah. It was freezing cold in New York as well. Like I think it was like
Was it February, wasn't it?
yeah.
February's a cold one.
We had to get there from Montreal, and there was like a massive snowstorm that almost like shut us in at Montreal. And Bert was like, "Nah, we're just going to drive down." So we like drove down in the like most horrendous conditions, but we got there, and yeah, the show was just insane. Like getting into the venue for the first time and just seeing the room, and being like, "Oh, okay, so this is our show. Like this room is for people coming to see us in New
You've
York."
not just picked up a little support slot. No, you're headlining.
We were buzzing. Like it was crazy, and putting up our backdrop and just having a look at that and just letting it sink in. It's like, oh, cool. Seeing Sky So Black as well. Like they were one of the openers for us. We've listened to that band for years. So
Did you pick them out to support you then?
Yeah,
Nice.
Support us. They're so cool, man. They're really good. Check them out if you haven't.
I think I recognise the name, but I'll have to check them out. Did you guys sort of know that, like, what your US following was before you went over there?
I mean, we knew that weirdly from very early on. We knew that our were bigger in the US than, which was mental, and that like the more that grew, our goal was to get over to the US to play shows for these people. So the fact that we could actually do that and sell out a show.
The fact like even any of our music is being played in any other country as well is like it's fucking insane.
Yeah,
like
and when it's being played and like actively listened to as well, because like you pick up streams from like random playlists and stuff, but when it's like big numbers coming in, that's people who are genuinely listening to you and like getting on board with you.
Yeah, you've got, crowd surfers, stage divers, stage potatoes enjoying it, like people singing the lyrics back and
stage potatoes.
Dude, the people who get on stage but they decide they're going to stay there for maybe longer than they should. They'll just sort of stand there and it's like, okay, cool, fair. I mean, you're into it. But yeah, like having people sing back the lyrics and stuff to Future or to Extract or something is like, okay, now yeah, okay, maybe we have to start taking this a little bit more seriously,
Yeah.
or like, you know what I mean? It's a lot more real than maybe we gave it credit for.
Yeah,
It's always special when they're singing back to you as well.
Yeah,
the cheesy grin, man, for the five of us on that stage. I remember just looking around. I think it was after maybe the first song, or maybe even the first note. I just looked around and everyone's just like the biggest grins on their face. It's like, yeah, this is why we do this. It's so sick.
Oh my god, that is so cool. Yeah, like when it sold out, I was just like, it's another one of those moments that you're just like, this is just so insane. Like like knowing when you guys first came out and sort of like you're just another band of sort of friends that trying to get going, and then just selling out a show 2 years later in New York is just like, who would have believed it?
yeah. I wouldn't have put money on it. That's for sure.
Oh god. Well, you guys released another huge new single back in January, wasn't it? I'm Not Dying to Be Here. How's your response been to that?
So much more incredible than I think any of us anticipated.
Yeah.
Me personally, I was a little bit nervous for it personally, because I was like, it's still split chain, but it felt like we've been saying this is like the new stuff that we've got ready is so much more like refined, I guess, and we've taken not like crazy risks, but I think we've been quite a bit more. I don't know. We've learned from the last songs, and we've been a bit more sort of like liberal with the writing process in that regard. Okay. So it's like it's still split chain, but obviously it's dark and moody, and it's like, okay, I was just super nervous, I think, to see what people thought of it, because the expectation now, I think, as well, you know, with the fact we've got Epitaph backing us and stuff like that, it's like people know we have to step up, and I think we know that subconsciously as well. Yeah. But yeah, the response has been so much better than I think any of us could have imagined. The fact that there are people even singing lyrics to it is like, singing the lyrics back to that song is insane. I don't know. Yeah, it's just like, fuck yeah, like this is. Yeah, dude, I don't really like. I'm speechless, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've talked a lot, but I haven't really said anything. Like, I'm just like, oh fuck. I don't know about you all.
I think that's basically the whole story of the last 2 years, really, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'm glad people dig the new song, and hopefully that continues for the upcoming songs.
Yeah, good. So, what is the story behind the new single? Like lyrically or writing process?
So musically, we got together at it was at Aaron's house, and we were jamming. We were jamming ideas for a while. That one came about. I think it was just literally. It came about pretty quick, actually. I think it was just riff, added the lead on top. Lyric wise, it took a little while. I think we were kind of sat on that until we were at the studio, but. Yeah, he wrote that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he was basic. I think lyrically, it's basically to do with like it kind of harkens back to that authenticity thing, where it's like you don't have to be someone else to please other people. Fundamentally, I guess at the end of the day, the only person you can really rely on is yourself, and you have to have that self-belief.
Yeah.
And that confidence in yourself and who you are as a person to be able to make those big decisions, and to break away from people when you feel like, you know, it's obviously very unhealthy for people to be someone else for someone else or for other people. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's basically like thematically it's to do with getting out of that cycle, learning to be yourself, and sort of being okay with who you are.
Yeah, a pretty strong message then as well, which like I know I've been in those situations where you sort of try to change to fit in and things, and you just find you're going to be happiest when you're just yourself and doing the things you want to do.
Yeah, I think growing up, even maybe more recently, but yeah, I would say like I would quite happily say I've been in positions like that where I was faking it. Sure. You know, I pretended to be into music that I wasn't into for girls or for friends or whatever, you know. And it's just like when you take a step back and you actually think about it, and you're like, dude, it's so much fucking effort to pretend to be someone and it's just like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it, man. Just chill, be who you are. Like, it's okay as long as you're not harming yourself or you're not harming anyone else. Then who gives a shit? So enjoy it because it's the only thing you've got. And when you're, I don't know, 80 on your deathbed, you don't want to look back and think, well, I pretended to be someone else all that time.
Yeah, why waste your time?
Yeah, why waste it?
How are you guys like actually finding the time to write at the moment with being so busy?
So it was kind of a difficult lesson for us, I think, to begin with, because prior to the band sort of going, we had sort of like, well, not like prior, but we had a bank, obviously, where, well, there was a period where we were still like at the infancy of the band, I guess. So it was like, we were very picky with the shows and stuff. So we were still had the time to write and refine and go from there. But obviously signing to a label and making the decision to write and record an album, it was like, we now have to block out time to do this. And it was like a completely different scenario where, because the music we'd written before was so organic, we would just, we would put it on ourselves to write, but there wouldn't be this overwhelming pressure to do it. When you've got money, a label, and an album in the back of your head, it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's pretty much a case of just using any free time to just write. And we'll be at our homes writing on our own and stuff. But I think the magic really happens when we're together writing. And it definitely shows with the new single that came out, because that was one where I think all of us were together in the same room, and it's produced that single. So and pretty much
it's easier to bounce ideas off each other then as well, isn't it?
Yeah
it's super collaborative as well. We don't have one person that just writes like some bands, one or two people, there isn't one person that was solely reliant on it. It's like a super collaborative, everybody writes in the band, everybody has equal input. We always say to ourselves, like, it's democracy for us at the end of the day. So if one person doesn't like something, or
it can be quite difficult at times. I know with some songs there's been parts where I've adored, and then not everyone else has been keen. So it's about compromise a lot of the time. It's for the greater good, really, isn't it?
Obviously you said about the album, so there is an album in the works then, or is it recorded, or how are we looking?
So I don't think we can share too many details just yet. But there is new music coming out very soon, and with that there might be something special alongside of it.
Depends when you release it, really. But
when does this come out?
Probably be about 3 weeks.
Oh, dude, in that case we can say basically.
Sweet, let's go.
So end of the month we've got a new single coming out. Called what's his fucking real name?
Bored, Tired,
and Torn. Sorry, I'm so used to the working titles.
Honestly,
what's the working title?
James's shoes. It's like it's like an inside joke.
So they're always like, the working titles are always fantastic, aren't they?
Honestly, most of the songs, well, I say most of, but some of the songs we have are just the working titles.
Extract was the working title. Future was the working title.
Yeah, but we've got a new album. We finished recording that in
November.
It's December, wasn't it? Early December.
Yeah, November, December. Yeah.
And it will come out.
It's due out, I think,
June,
July the 11th, if I'm not wrong. July the 11th, I think.
Summer. I can't remember the date.
It's summertime.
The summertime.
By the time this is out, we would have said the date. So if you're listening to this, then
we'll just dub it over.
Yeah.
AI
it's called Motion Blur, for anyone who wants to know.
Okay.
It's 11 completely new songs, and if you buy the physical, there might be a little extra treat. So.
Okay. Is that vinyl, I assume?
Yeah, vinyl, CDs, all that jazz. So we finally have a debut album ready to present to the world.
Yeah.
Exciting. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got some quick fun ones now, which I've been doing with guests recently, just to fire through, get some ideas out. So, first off, what's your best tour story? You've done a couple of tours now, so.
Oh my god,
dude! The one that's literally just came to mind is: do you remember we were on tour with Gel, and I think Aaron and maybe Aaron and Jake had partied really hard the night before.
Yeah.
So we were driving, weren't we? I
I
think
know
we
where
were
this is going.
driving down to where were we going?
We go to
Like-
the first show, weren't we? Down
Was it
Southampton.
the first show?
I think so.
Was it?
That's
the-
rock and roll,
no.
getting drunk before the first show.
I think was it? No, I'm pretty sure it was like Guildford or something. I swear it was like Guildford. 'Cause
Okay.
we had the van at that point.
Where's this going?
No, what I'm saying is, so I remember basically he'd partied super hard, and we had to. He was basically going to throw up in the van, and he was like, "Dude, we need to fucking pull over.
Yeah.
We need to pull over." So we pull into this service station. The van hasn't even stopped yet. So Aaron chucks himself out of the van and just throws up in front of, like, in the car park of the service station. And there's a dude in his car directly opposite him eating his sandwich, watching it fucking happen. And it was
Oh
like,
my god.
The car.
huh?
He just spewed pretty much all over the front of his car.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my fucking life, why? I thought it was hilarious, dude, but I don't think the guy eating the sandwich was super
he-
impressed.
Like mid-bite, I remembered. I looked. He was like this, holding his sandwich, just like.
This is like 1 p.m. on a fucking Tuesday as well. It's
Oh
like, what
my
the fuck's
God.
going on, dude?
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the first one that came to my mind. I don't know about you all.
I mean, there's so much that happened in the tour we just finished. I mean, we had some like amazing times. Like we got to meet our team at the label in Anaheim.
Are they US based though?
Yeah, they're based in LA.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. And we got treated to a day out at Disney, which was nice.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I hear you.
hanging with them, like the great thing with them is like there's no suits at the label. Like they're all just chill, like people to
Yeah.
just hang out with. So that was really cool.
We almost died. That was pretty fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, we almost died in America. There was like a massive winter storm that hit Atlanta. So the show got pulled. So like, okay, we'll drive to the show in Florida. And on our way to the show, basically overnight, the roads had iced over because there'd been no traffic because of the storm. We didn't think about that. So as we were driving, we started slowly skidding. And then the skidding got worse and worse and worse.
yeah.
And it was like, there was one point where it's like, right, we're either going to go into the ditch next to the highway, or we're going to go into the metal bit in the middle of the highway.
Yeah.
The barrier, that's it. Yeah. And it was
Yeah.
like, genuinely, I don't think I've ever feared for my life like I did for that.
It was that time, and then a week or so later, driving into Houston. The roads in Houston are like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. Like there's just constant roadworks, but they don't have like speed limits or anything. And like lanes, you know how like they'll like cone off lanes to like merge them and
Yeah.
stuff. In the UK, it's normally like 40 miles an hour for like the whole of
Yeah.
or whatever. They don't have that there, so there'll be like huge like semi trucks, like 18-wheelers, just bombing it down that road. One of them nearly like crushed us, and yeah, that was terrifying.
God. And they don't have MOTs, so
Fun tour story there. A couple of near-death experiences.
yeah. Oh god. Okay. The next one should be quite easy. What's the first song you released as a band?
Get inside.
Get inside.
Cool. I had to really like think them for a second.
What is your highest streamed song on Spotify?
Ooh, Future, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
When I looked, it was Get Inside.
Really?
Yeah. When I looked yesterday, there was.
What?
I didn't check it before coming on.
I mean, on Spotify at least, it's Future. I don't know all streaming, but I'm pretty sure it's Future.
Look, I'm sure it was Get Inside, unless I just missed Future. 6 minutes.
I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, Future 6.
Oh shit! Yeah, why have I got? I've put my notes in the wrong way. Get Inside was supposed to go against the first song, so yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It is Future. I was gonna say, I was like, I couldn't have got that wrong, but yeah, no, I put it in the wrong place on my notes. Well, at least we know. All right, what are your top 5 Spotify listening locations? Now, I did double check this before to like about 10 minutes ago.
Ooh.
Ooh, fuck.
I'm gonna have off the top of my head, country wise, it'll be US,
UK.
Canada, Germany, Brazil.
Okay, we got cities. So,
City.
what's your cities?
All right,
The-
City. I'm gonna say top one is either. I reckon it's got to be San Antonio, right? That's a
I
guess.
thought it was LA.
LA is number 1.
LA.
Is it?
Yeah, LA. I'm gonna say Chicago's on there.
Chicago's number 2.
Oh,
Go on,
You're going for a perfect run now.
number 3. I'm just going by what shows popped up on the tour.
New York.
No.
Ah,
What's that, Ollie?
I said,
Dallas.
Dallas, yeah, is number 3.
hey,
We're going for a straight run now.
come
What's
on.
number 4?
Number 4. What else was a good show?
Houston.
Number 4 is Houston. You're on a proper run now. What's number 5? Now, number 5 has changed today because I looked yesterday.
I might say Toronto. Ah,
You lost.
London.
London is currently number 5, yeah.
Number 5.
Yesterday it was Atlanta, but but I looked today and it changed. So, but no wonder why you're touring the US when like 4 or 5 of your top cities are over there.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, give me 3 underground bands that people have to check out.
Mercury. We're taking those guys out on tour
Yes, I saw
at the
that.
end of the month. So definitely Mercury. Oversized will always have my vote. They just put out
They just
very,
released a new
very
album,
good.
haven't they?
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
put out their new record.
Pretty wild actually. I saw their poster yesterday because they're playing. I think they're headlining Exchange Main Room.
Yeah,
So the first gig I played with OMB was with them in the basement at Exchange, but they were I think they were main support. But it's just like it's crazy that they were main support and we were opening like 3-4 years ago, and now they're just like headlining and doing huge things as well.
yeah, it's so sick, and they're the nicest dudes as well. They took us
Yeah.
out on our first little UK weekender, and yeah, I'd say we're all really good friends now because of it. So
Good.
it's
Good.
proper sweet. And then, Olive, you got a third one? Oh, what about Shell? Actually, Shell are huge.
Yeah. Are they on the same tour, or was that your last tour?
they're playing.
Or did they do a tour with Mercury? Maybe I saw. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I think they played some shows at Mercury, if I'm not wrong, but they are also playing the Cardiff date on our UK run. We met those guys. We played Cardiff. God, October 23.
Yeah, something like that. Like our third or fourth show.
Yeah, and the EP they put out, the most recent EP, which was produced by Kel.
Yeah,
is Chef's Kiss.
It's
very fucking good.
Definitely check that out.
Yeah, so they're my 3 votes. I don't know about you all.
Yeah, I'd say Mercury for sure. Sky So Black, I really like. Like they just dropped an album actually.
Oh, nice.
Same as Oversize. So those are 2 albums that need to be checked out. Who else have I been listening to? I'm drawing a blank. Killing Me Softly.
Killing Me
It's-
Softly
okay.
is fucking sick.
They are,
See, it's quite nice. I've been asking this question because there's like, it's nice to get to know what like you guys are listening to that's not like mainstream as well.
yeah. Killing Me Softly. They're very well known within the UK hardcore scene. But for me they're like Poison the Well, like Reborn, and like
Nice.
like Chris, I know you dig Thrice. Like
Yeah.
kind of style. It's just very, very good. Like metalcore is sick.
It's proper metalcore.
Yeah.
Proper good metalcore.
Like, the production as well. None of this squeaky clean shit. Like no, it's proper. Like the guitars,
Rough.
they sound metal. Like as in, it sounds metal clanking on metal. It's just sick. Like yeah.
Amazing. I'm gonna go check that out.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one of these questions then. How many TVs have you gone through since you started?
Dude, we've still got the same ones.
Have you?
I don't know.
You've got a new one recently. I think Bert said one broke just as I
Yeah,
gave
you donated one, didn't
my
you?
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually been sat in the cupboard for like I don't know 3 years. Never like not been used in years, and I was just like I just can't throw it out. Like I've got like so I just messaged Bert. I was just like, do you guys want it? And I think he said that one of them had died, but that's pretty good if only one has died in that time.
I think 1 or 2. I mean, we've lost like the remotes for some, so they're like unusable now. I've got one sitting. I think my childhood TV is just I can't use anymore because it hasn't got the remote. I've got another one down in my basement. But yeah, the one that you donated, I think, is the main one in the "I'm Not Dying to Be Here."
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
So,
When I saw that, when I saw that
trivia.
teaser come out, I was like, "Ah, it's my TV." Nice.
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing though that a lot of them are still going. So good times.
Yeah.
That's the best tech, man. Bring it back.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So what else have you guys got lined up this year? I know you obviously got your headline tour starts in a few weeks. New album on the horizon as well.
Yeah.
Any festivals or anything coming up?
Yeah, we got a very busy summer schedule. I don't know what I can say because of when this is released.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we're
yeah.
doing-
True. Well, you
we're
can
doing-
say the ones that have been announced at least, so that's fine.
Well, we're doing Slam Dunk.
Doing Slam. So in the UK, we've got Slam Dunk and Download that we can say now.
Yeah.
Europe, we've got. Oh, actually, scratch that. Our first festival of the season will be LDB in Kentucky in April, followed by a
Yes.
short little headline run over on the East Coast, and then we've got Download, Slam Dunk, Jira, Mystic, Resurrection Fest, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Among others that we can't say just yet, but yeah, it should be a very, very good,
Yeah,
very fun summer.
Yeah, we'll be around Europe quite a bit, and then US in April, and then I think maybe hopping back to the US after festivals, but that's yet to be confirmed.
Well, one question I do have to ask, and it's another one of those wild moments where I'm just like, I know these guys, like they're local guys. So I got some mates over in Melbourne, and one of them posted how they're just desperate for you guys to play Australia. I think they shared one of your songs on their story, and I'm just like, wait, Split Chain, like, is Australia somewhere on the horizon?
Oh,
Dude, hopefully, I
would
really
be
want to go.
Because
to
I think
a
you got
beach.
it, like, from what he was saying, like, you got a pretty good following over there. Like, there's a lot, like, I know when as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have no idea how you know about these guys from Bristol, and then it's just like, oh no, they're huge.
My sister lived, she lived in Kingston for a bit. Well, that's where we grew up. But she lived
Yeah.
with a housemate who was Australian, and she moved back to Australia. And she responded to my sister's story where she shared our Kingston show. She was like,
Yeah.
"No way, your brother's in that band. I love that band." So, like,
Amazing.
it's weird when you get like little small connections like that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like music really makes the world small, and like
Yeah.
like with your friend in Melbourne as well. That's wild. But yeah, hopefully we'd love to go to Australia. I mean, there's no reason why we can't.
We've discussed it, like it's on the cards. It's just the right place, the right time. sort of
Yeah,
vibe, so.
I think I think Boston Manor have done like they tour with someone or hold an absence of someone. They tour with someone over there, then they bring them over to the UK. Like maybe that's the sort of
Holding out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. I don't know. I don't think that would be this year. Probably next
Hopefully
year.
next year, dude.
Yeah.
If we can get it for the start of next year, so we can actually go over in the summer as well.
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
Lovely.
It is hot in like get out of the cold January in Bristol and
Oi,
get
yeah.
to the like 40 degrees.
I'd
that's what
love
I'm
to do
talking
Australia in January. If we could do Australia in January rather than the US, because not a fan of the snowstorms.
Yeah, fair. To be fair, I think there's some big festivals in like December time, January time over there. So hook it
I'm
up.
gonna start pinging our manager now.
Yeah.
After this, let's go.
Let's do it. Well, before we go, where can everyone find you on socials and all that business?
So the usual socials, so Instagram, Facebook. We don't have Twitter, but TikTok, all of that fun stuff. I think
Yeah.
we're even on Threads, to be honest. So if you're on Threads, feel free.
Yeah.
YouTube, and then obviously music-wise, streaming-wise, all the usual streaming platforms.
Yeah, and the place to find all our stuff is on our website as well. So splitchain.uk.
UK.
That'll be where all the ticket links are, the merch, and any other news.
Cool, sweet. Well, it's been lovely to chat to you guys. Thanks for your time.
No
Obviously,
worries.
have a great time on tour at the end of the month,
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having us, Chris.
and we'll catch you later.
Take
Yeah,
it easy, man.
cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Ad. That was episode 3 of the Alt Show podcast. Thanks for listening. Make sure you're hitting that follow button wherever you're listening, or if you're watching the whole thing on YouTube, hey, hit that like and subscribe. Big thanks to the boys from Split Chain. They have just started a big UK tour, so make sure you're getting down to see them. It won't be long until they are playing much bigger venues for a lot more money, so get there now. Special shout out as well to Paradise Fell for the intro music. You can follow them at paradise.fell, and make sure you're following the podcast. It is at Alt Show Pod just about everywhere. You've been listening to the Alt Show podcast. I've been Chris. I'll catch you next time.